Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Nrsimhadev Bhagavan ki jai, Prahlad Maharaj ki jai.
Hare Krishna. So thank you everyone for coming to Bhaktivedanta Manor this wonderful Sunday afternoon. So there is some prasadam currently being served in the Haveli, and there will be a class on the ancient scripture of Bhagavad Gita right here in the temple room. So please do hang around, there's plenty to do. Just give us a few minutes while we set up for the Bhagavad Gita class. And if everyone can please face towards the door on this side, towards the paintings, to face the speaker for the Bhagavad Gita class. Thank you for coming once again, and we hope to see you again all very soon. Hare Krishna.
I went a bit faster, so then I knew that down.
You went quick, very quick. Can you help me set up the Vyasa?
Yeah. Hi there. At 6 as well, or is
At
it
6 also, yes.
So there's two on a
There's
Sunday.
2 on a Sunday, yes, you're
Brilliant.
correct.
Okay, definitely one at 6 too.
Definitely one at 6.
Right, thank you.
I hope so. Schedule. Jesse. Sorry. Hare Krishna. Sorry, we're just going to set up here for the Gita class.
Yeah.
Come here.
Just here?
No, we don't need the Vyasa.
Oh, we don't need. Oh,
We don't need it. My bad.
what do we need?
We just need some cushion.
Book holder also. And book holder.
No, we don't need. Yeah, we do. Would you like to play Mridanga?
Now?
Yeah. Oh, you're doing the class? Yeah, unfortunately. And put a cushion and then put the book stand.
Like this?
That's good.
Jai.
Thank you, Jesse. उत्पाने सर्वतः संततो विदते तान् सर्वेषु वेदेषु ब्राह्मणस्य विज्ञानता Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So now there will be a class on the Bhagavad Gita. For those of you who don't know what the Bhagavad Gita is, it looks a little bit like this. You may have a different printing, but generally it says Bhagavad Gita as it is, and it's this book that we'll be reading from and discussing. If you don't have a Bhagavad Gita, then you can get one from the gift shop or just the reception outside. It's a wonderful book of wisdom, and we're just going to discuss a few points from this wonderful book. Before we begin, however, we will just sing one beautiful song that is usually sung before we begin class to remind us of the Supreme Lord. The song is called Jai Radha Madhav, and it's usually sung in call and response. So I'll sing the first line, and if you can repeat after me. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Kopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jana Vallabha Radha Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Kopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Radhe, Ya Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Radhe, Jaya Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Radhe. Jaya Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Radhe, Radhe. Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, Sita Ram Jaya Lakshman Hanuman. Should I do 6? Should I do 6? 6 feet. Should I? Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. 6. Should I? Yeah, should I? Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Thank you everyone for your kind participation. So if you can please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Before we begin, I will just recite some prayers. Don't worry, it's nothing suspicious, it's just to invoke auspiciousness. If you know the prayers, you can join along with me. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So thank you everyone for coming to this afternoon's Bhagavad Gita class. We'll be reading from chapter 2 of the Bhagavad Gita. Does anyone know how many chapters there are in the Bhagavad Gita? Anyone know? Yes. Yeah, correct. Yeah, I had 18 from 2 places. So yeah, amazing. Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters. And this particular chapter, chapter 2, has 72 verses. And the particular verse we'll be reading from today is verse 46. So the verse goes as follows. Yavan artha udpane sarvata samplutodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanatah. The translation is as follows by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki translation. All purposes served by a small well can at once be served by a great reservoir of water. Similarly, all purposes of the Vedas can be served to one who knows the purpose behind them. Srila Prabhupada's purport. The rituals and sacrifices mentioned in the Karma Kanda division of the Vedic literatures are meant to encourage gradual development of realization. And the purpose of self-realization is clearly stated in the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. The purpose of studying the Vedas is to know Krishna, the primeval cause of everything. So, self-realization means understanding Krishna and one's eternal relationship with Him. The relationship of the living entities with Krishna is also mentioned in the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, 15.7. The living entities are parts and parcels of Krishna. Therefore, revival of Krishna consciousness by the individual living entity is the highest perfectional stage of Vedic knowledge. This is confirmed in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 33, Text 7 as follows. Aho bata shvapacho ato gariyan yaj jivagre vartate namatubhyam tepus tapas te juhuvuhu sansur arya brahmanuchur nama grinanti ye te. O my Lord, a person who is chanting your holy name, although born of a low family like that of a Chandala dog-eater, is situated on the highest platform of self-realization. Such a person must have performed all kinds of penances and sacrifices according to Vedic rituals and studied the Vedic literatures many times after taking his bath in all the holy places of pilgrimage. Such a person is considered to be the best of the Aryan family. So one must be intelligent enough to understand the purpose of the Vedas without being attached to the rituals only. and must not desire to be elevated to the heavenly kingdoms for a better quality of sense gratification. It is not possible for the common man in this age to follow all the rules and regulations of the Vedic rituals, nor is it possible to study all of the Vedanta and the Upanishads thoroughly. It requires much time, energy, knowledge, and resources to execute the purposes of the Vedas. This is hardly possible in this age. The best purpose of Vedic culture is served, however, by chanting the holy name of the Lord, as recommended by Lord Chaitanya, the deliverer of the fallen souls. When Lord Chaitanya was asked by a great Vedic scholar, Prakashananda Saraswati, why he, the Lord, was chanting the holy name of the Lord like a sentimentalist instead of studying Vedanta philosophy, the Lord replied that his spiritual master had found him to be a great fool and thus asked him to chant the holy name of Lord Krishna. He did so and became ecstatic like a madman. In this age of Kali, most of the population is foolish and not adequately educated to understand Vedanta philosophy. The best purpose of Vedanta philosophy is served by inoffensively chanting the holy name of the Lord. Vedanta is the last word in Vedic wisdom, and the author and the knower of the Vedanta philosophy is Lord Krishna. And the highest Vedantist is the great soul who takes pleasure in chanting the holy name of the Lord. That is the ultimate purpose of all Vedic mysticism. Srila Prabhupada ki. So here, before we begin discussing this particular verse, just to give some context of what's previously occurred, Arjuna is refusing to engage in warfare. And the reason why he's refusing to engage in warfare is because he is conflicted in his mind about what his duty is. There are multiple reasons as to why he is perplexed, and one of them being that he was due to fight his own relatives. And therefore, because of his affection towards his family members, he was reluctant to engage in such conflict, despite the fact that such conflict was on religious principles and justified. Therefore, when Arjun was unable to come to a decision, he was unable to conclusively make a decision whether he should fight or not. There's one particular thing he did. Put your hands up if you ever had to make a decision but you didn't know which option to choose. Some hands going up. Yeah, like it could be as simple as what should I have for lunch, or it could even be what career path I should choose. So one important factor to consider that Arjun reminds us is to ask for some guidance, to seek help. Arjun says famously in the 7th verse of the 2nd chapter, Karpanya dosho pahata svabhava prachami tvam dharma samudacheta yat shreya shan nishchitam bruhitan me shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. That I don't know what to do, Krishna. I'm confused. What should I do? On one side, yes, the kingdom does belong to us rightfully. We are the rightful heir. But at the same time, I don't want to fight with my cousin brother. Krishna, what should I do? When Arjun tried to logically reason and make a list of all the pros and cons, he still became frustrated because he still did not know what to do. And so in this desperate condition, in this pitiable condition, Arjun is asking Krishna, please help me. I am ready to be guided by you. Give me some advice. Please counsel me. Please become my teacher and tell me what to do. So then Krishna agrees, and the first thing Krishna does is also very interesting. He tells Arjuna that his problem is not really even a problem. He says, Ashochayanan vashochastam pragyavadam shabhasase katasuna katasum sha nanu shochanti pandita. That you are lamenting, but what you are lamenting for is not worthy of grief. Arjuna was practically crying. His famous bow, in those days they used to fight with a bow and arrows, so Arjuna had a bow, and of course he had arrows to go along with that bow. This bow he was holding, but because of his anxiety, he was profusely perspiring, and therefore his bow was slipping out his hands. Many other descriptions are given. He's shaking out of tremendous anxiety, and he was also crying. He was also crying, and therefore what Krishna is telling him, that what you are crying for is not worthy of your tears. And so what Krishna says is that those that are wise, they do not grieve for such things. The reason why they don't grieve for such things is because they understand the bigger picture. They understand the bigger picture. This life that we live may span from 0 years to 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 years. At max, maybe 110 if you're really, really, really lucky. But at one point or other, there will be some conclusion. This life will come to a close. What Krishna is emphasizing in the beginning of the second chapter is that despite coming to the end of life, this is not the end of the book. This is simply the end of the chapter, and your existence continues. Your existence continues. So then Krishna gives various logical reasons as to why Arjun should engage in this activity. At this point, Krishna is describing how we can look at the bigger picture in life. Who's ever done it like a jigsaw puzzle? Yeah, you done like a jigsaw puzzle, right? So like some jigsaw puzzles are like 250 pieces, some are like 500, some are like 1,000 pieces. Right? Have you done 1,000 pieces? Wow. Wow. Oh, in 4 sets. Must have taken a long time, right? So now if you have a whole picture, what was the picture that you did of? What? Avengers. Oh, nice. Wonderful. You did the same one also. Amazing. Okay, so we have Avengers and Jurassic Park. Quite the combination. So now, in this jigsaw puzzle, if you look at the entire puzzle and you take one piece of the puzzle, this one piece is included in the entire puzzle. This one piece is included in the entire puzzle. So the purpose of that one piece, that purpose can also be gained by the whole puzzle. Right? When we look at a complete puzzle, we see the entire picture with one individual piece. But if we take simply one piece then we're not able to see the entire picture. And therefore here, what Krishna is saying is that if you have a well, the purpose of the well, maybe I'll ask you, what is the purpose of a well? Yeah.
When you hold your bitch,
You hold your?
when you hold your bitch, no, like hoops, like which kind of people have it,
Like a well that has water in it. Yeah.
like you get the bucket and then take it out.
Yeah, and what's in the bucket? Yeah, exactly. You get water, right? So now in this bucket, there is some water. I don't know, maybe like, would you say 5 liters? Like, that's about right? So 5 liters, 6 or 5, give or take. So you'll do, right? So 5 or 6 liters of water is in that bucket in the well. Now, let me ask you, what will you do with that bucket?
Maybe like give it to poor people.
Give it to poor people, okay? Yeah. Okay, yeah. Good. But what do you do every morning? Yeah. Yeah, good. And what do you need to bathe? Exactly. Now, so you get this well, and you put the bucket down, you get some water, and then you bathe. Everyone takes a bath in the morning. Now, let me ask you, if you went to the seaside has a lot more water than the well. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Right? How much more would you say? 10,000 times. A billion times more. Billion. So the seaside has a billion times more water than the well. Right?
One piece of land, while the seaside, the ocean covers like 10% of the earth.
Yeah, exactly. So the well is just one small piece, and the seaside is like a whole, the ocean is like covering a large piece. Maybe you should give the class instead. You're doing really well. Amazing. So yeah. And so if you want to take a bath at the seaside, you can also do so. Right? So in the same way, the purpose of the well can also be achieved by going to the seaside. The purpose of a small reservoir of water can also be achieved by going to a large reservoir of water. So here what Krishna is making the point is that when we understand the purpose behind why we're doing what we're doing, then we can much easily achieve our goals and targets. Prabhupada describes that the purpose of the Vedic literatures is to encourage gradual development of self-realization. This is a very important point. In the Vedic literatures, we find that there are various prescriptions. The Vedic literatures tell us to do various things. How do we know what to do, and why are there such differences? One of the reasons why there are such differences is because we should take gradual steps. Like, let me ask you, you're in school, right? What year of school are you in? You're both in year 5. Okay, wonderful. So, now, if you want to get to year 11, can you jump straight to year 11? What do you have to study. So what year do you have to go into next?
6.
You have to go into 6. And after 6, what year do you go into?
7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah, exactly. So we can't make jumps. Therefore, we should progress gradually. And therefore, what you are taught in year 5 may be different to what you are taught in year 11. Right? So here, what Prabhupada is making the point is that the Vedic literatures are meant for gradual elevation in spiritual consciousness. We should take step by step. But when we understand the final goal, that makes things much easier. If we don't know where we're going, if we don't know the final goal, we may take a step and think that this is the final goal. Like someone may think that year 6 is the final goal because that's the next step. Yes, year 6 is the next step, but that's not the final goal because there's more afterwards. Like you mentioned, year 7. Yeah, exactly, like college. And then comes university. But that's still a long way away. I've been there, so it's a long way away. And so, we should take gradual steps. But in taking gradual steps, we should understand our destination. Similarly, in Google Maps, when you look on Google Maps, if any of you drive and you need maps, if you're like me, then yeah, I'm terrible at navigation, so I need Google Maps. On Google Maps, it tells you what's the next turn. It tells you what the next turn is. The next turn is not the final goal, is not the destination. But that brings you one step closer to the destination. The destination is also given in Google Maps. But here, the point that is being made is that both things are important. We need the first gradual step, and we should also know the final destination. Now, in spiritual life, what is the final destination and what are these gradual steps? Gradual steps are the various Vedic sacrifices that are mentioned. Vedic sacrifices can include things like performing some sort of activity, austerity, penance, to gain something in return. Yes, you want it? Yeah. When was Krishna born? Yes, so Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago, long time ago. He appeared in a place called Mathura, and he appeared in a jail. He appeared in a jail, yeah. How did he appear in jail? Okay. Huh? That it is a long story. Okay, so with the permission of the rest of the crowd, may we digress from the current topic of conversation? Raise your hands if you are in agreement to diverge. I see some nods. And raise your hands if you are not in agreement to diverge from the conversation. Okay, one person, but I think she asked the question, so we'll still go with that. So basically what happened is that there was one king. His name was Kamsa, and he wasn't really a nice king. And he had a sister, and his sister, her name was Devaki. Now Devaki was getting married. You guys still have a long way to go, but she was getting married. She was at that age. And she was getting married to, who knows who she was getting married to? Yeah. No. Close, good one, but not quite, yeah. Yeah, exactly, yeah. She was getting married to Vasudev. So at that time, Kamsa was, as an older brother, thought to contribute and serve his sister by taking charge of the reins of the chariot that they were on. So in those days, they used to have like a chariot. They wouldn't have a car. Like nowadays in weddings, you have like a Rolls Royce or a Bentley. But back in the day, the equivalent was like a chariot with horses. So what happened is Devaki and Vasudev were in the carriage. And there came a voice from the sky. And the voice said that, Kamsa, you're a fool. Why are you a fool? Because the very person that you're driving, her 8th child will be the cause of your destruction. He will kill you. So then Kamsa got really scared, like, I don't want to die. I don't want to die, and I'll do anything to protect myself. And so he thought, okay, if my sister's son is going to kill me, what is the solution? Because I don't want to die. Let me just kill my sister. So he had such thinking. This thinking is not encouraged because it is very selfish and causes harm to others. So he had his sword ready to I won't make it graphic, but he was ready to, kill Devaki. This is when Vasudev stepped in. Vasudev was very intelligent actually. He thought that, okay, let me reason with Vasudev. Like, look, bro, chill out, calm down. The sun isn't even here yet. Why are you panicking? Why are you panicking? And so, with all logic and reasoning, Vasudev tried to convince Kamsa. He tried to convince him on the basis that it's not an immediate threat. He tried to convince him on the spiritual platform that our identity is that of spirit soul. You can't kill the living entity because the living entity is ajo, nityam, shashvato, yam purano, unborn, eternal, primeval. We actually never die. We never die. We just leave this body. Like at the end of the day, when our clothes are dirty because we've been running around and playing, and then we sweat, and therefore we put the clothes in the wash, right? And then the next morning we get some fresh pair of clothes. So in the same way, when this body is old and the liver doesn't work and the kidneys don't work and memory is gone and we can't see properly, then the body is not really usable. It becomes old. And therefore, we give up the body and we take a new one. And so Vasudev tried explaining this logic and reasoning to Kamsa, and that didn't work. And so what Vasudev did is he declared a state of emergency within that local situation. And so he said, okay, fine, look, Kamsa, every child that's born, I'll give them to you. And you can do what you like. But just don't kill Devaki. Obviously, that's not nice to give a child away for someone to in someone else's hands, and you don't know what they're going to do with the child because they wanted to kill the mother. That's obviously not a nice thing. But what Vasudev was thinking is that, let me just solve the immediate problem. Because he tried all the other ways. Let me solve the immediate problem. And the immediate problem was Devaki's life was in threat. So he then made this promise to Kamsa. So then Kamsa was pacified, and then things went on. So lo and behold, 9 months later came the first child. And so when the first child came, Vasudev, and this is a symptom of a great saint, someone whose body, mind and words are aligned, can achieve great peace and accomplishment in this world. He stuck to his word. And so he actually delivered this child to Kamsa. And Kamsa at that time became a little soft-hearted, and he became a little compassionate. And so he said, it's okay. The prediction was the 8th child. This is just the first. So okay, let it be. Let it be. Then came Narad Muni. Narad Muni is like the...
Sage.
Yeah, he is the sage. Good. He's like the transcendental disturber. The reason I say that is because Narad Muni kind of stirred things up a little bit. He told Kamsa that, okay, this is the first child. Then will come the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Now, when there are 8 children, how do you know which is first and which is 8th? How do you know?
You can name them in alphabetical order.
You can name them in alphabetical orders, yes. But someone could say, but I'm counting backwards from Z to A rather than A to Z. So how do you know which one is first?
So you can put a number on them.
You can put a number on them. Although that's a very good suggestion, Vasudev and Devaki did not put a number. They didn't go with that tactic because they didn't hear from you at that time. Exactly. So there's no way of telling which is the first and which one's the 8th. Because which way do you count? Youngest to oldest or oldest to youngest?
Understand them by their faces.
Yes, good suggestion. Yeah. So the point is that they couldn't tell who is first and who is eighth. That is the point Narad Muni was trying to make. And the reason why Narad Muni made this point is to encourage Kamsa to speed up the process, to speed up the appearance of Krishna. So then what happened is that Kamsa thought, better safe than sorry, let me just kill all of the children. So every time a child was born to Vasudeva and Devaki, Vasudeva delivered them as per his promise, because he was a truthful devotee. And then Kamsa killed each and every one of them. When it came to the eighth child's appearance, what happened was that the eighth child appeared, but when the eighth child appeared, it was not an ordinary child. That child was the Lord himself, was Lord Krishna. And the amazing thing is that when a baby is born, and I don't have practical experience, so some of you may be able to correct me, but the child is usually like crying, you know? And like everything is like really, really just like small, like super just small. I don't know how small exactly because I've never really... Almost, maybe a little bit bigger than this. Maybe, I don't know, if I was to guess, I'd say this much.
Because when I was born,
Yeah.
my mom's friend said I was this big.
You were just this big, yeah? This big. Maybe less than my elbow. So it's very small. Now, you know what the amazing thing is? When Krishna appeared, he appeared as this baby, and then immediately, because Vasudeva and Devaki had a great relationship with Lord Krishna, Krishna manifested and showed, he demonstrated his four-handed form. His four-handed form. So in those four hands, does anyone know what Lord Vishnu carries? Yeah.
Normally, like, he has a peacock.
Peacock feather is on his hair, but what does he carry in his four hands?
I know, and bow and arrow.
Good guess, but not quite, yeah?
Mace,
Yeah, good. Mace.
a shuriken thingy.
Sugar cane. Spinny thing, yeah. Like if you were to translate it today, it's like the equivalent of a fidget spinner. Like that, right? Yeah. A flute. He does have a flute, but yeah, lotus. Okay, so we got three. And what's lotus, mace. Did we get mace? With lotus, mace. Oh yeah. Yeah, the conch. Yeah, the conch. Yeah. So those are the four things that Lord Vishnu holds in his hands. So now, how is it that the baby just appeared, but now we have Lord Vishnu with this conch and lotus and the conch, the lotus, and the disc and the mace. Yeah. So now Lord Vishnu has all of these four things. How is it? When we're a baby, we just remain a baby. We don't turn into anything else. We don't manifest anything else. But Lord Krishna is special because he has special powers. He's like Superman, but even more super than Superman because he can do anything. And therefore, Lord Krishna was able to show this form to Vasudeva and Devaki. And therefore, when we talk about Lord Krishna's birth is actually not the right word. Because Lord Krishna never actually takes birth like us. Now, what is the difference between us and Lord Krishna? It was a theoretical question, but we'll get to it. The kids at the front are very enthusiastic, and it's very nice because I also get more enthusiastic. So the difference between us and Lord Krishna is that Lord Krishna chooses when he comes. We don't choose. I was born in North Middlesex Hospital. Yeah. Where were you born? Do you know?
India, but I don't know.
In India. Okay. Anyone else? Where were they born? Yeah.
I was born in America.
You were born in America. Wow, amazing. Amazing. Okay, yeah, go on. You were born in... Wow, that's amazing. Ayodhya. Jai Shri Ram. Amazing. So now, you were born in India, you were born in America, and you were born in Ayodhya. And you were also born in Ayodhya. Now raise your hands if you chose to be born in the place you were born, you made that choice. I think some of the children are raising their hands, but I see their parents looking at them very suspiciously. So we didn't choose. We didn't choose. Maybe if I had the choice, I would be born in Barnet Hospital. Or Australia. Australia is nice, actually. I wouldn't choose Antarctica. I personally wouldn't. So we don't choose. We don't get that choice. Yeah, so we don't choose. We don't choose. But the amazing thing is, Lord Krishna, he does choose. He does choose. We are eternal. Our identity is eternal. So before we took this birth in America or Ayodhya or in India, we were somewhere before. We were in a different place before. And after this lifetime, we'll go to a different place.
When you were born, you go to there, and after that you be born again.
Yeah, exactly. And this is known as reincarnation. And therefore, we don't choose where we're born.
God chooses where we are.
Yes, God chooses where we're born. And how does he choose? By the arrangement of material energy. So this is the difference between our birth and Lord Krishna's birth. It's called birth because we don't get a choice where we're put into. Like some people may be born in a family where there's great money and wealth, and another person may be born in a family where there's not so much money and wealth. If I had a choice, I would pick the millionaire's house, right? And I'm sure, like, how many of you would agree if you had the choice? Yeah, sure. Anil Ambani, come, let's go. Right? Yeah. I mean, yeah, Anil is now a bit older, yeah. Yeah, of course. But we don't get that choice. We don't get that choice. Because it is by material nature's arrangements according to our previous activities. But that is not the case with Lord Krishna. Exactly. You can also be an animal. We don't. Yeah, exactly. And that's a whole another class, actually. And therefore, our appearance is known as birth. But when Lord Krishna appears, that is not referred to as birth, but referred to as appearance, because he appears according to his own will, whenever he desires. Whenever he desires. And therefore, when Lord Krishna appears, he appears completely out of spiritual energy. And therefore, his entire being is spiritual. Right now, we have a distinction. We have this body which is made of matter, and our eternal identity which is spirit. But Krishna does not have this distinction, because he is completely spiritual. And how is this so? When Krishna was 16 years old, he was looking very youthful. From when he appeared as a baby, he grew up, and he grew up to about 16 years. After that time, he looked very youthful. At the Battle of Kurukshetra, Krishna was 125 years since he had appeared. He was 125 years old. But he looked exactly like a 16-year-old boy. His body is completely spiritual. And so that is the difference between...
Krishna was born, was he blue?
Yeah. He is described... Venum kwan vantamaravinda dalaya taksham. I forgot the next line.
Did he also drink poison from the seed like Shiva, Lord Shiva?
That's a whole nother story. We actually unfortunately have to conclude class here because it's 2:00. So yeah, we'll conclude. But it was a great honor and privilege to be able to share something, and thank you for discussing and sharing. Any final last comment? Where he was born in Mathura. There's a place called Mathura, and you can visit there today. He was born in a jail, and yeah, he was born there. Do I come here every day? Yes, I come here every day. Every day. Yes. So yes, thank you very much for attending, and I hope you found something useful. We did go a little off topic, but nonetheless, I hope you had a nice time.
Was Ram Krishna's brother?
Ram is Balaram. Yeah, he's Krishna's brother. Yeah, Krishna's older brother.
But I thought the king killed him.
No, that's a complicated story. What happened is there was like a switcheroo. There was a swap, and so yeah, they thought they killed him, but they didn't kill him. Yeah, like that. Huh? No, it was different. It was different. So yeah. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai. Hare Krishna.